the roster here, but we do have a staff member no longer here. Borman is heading on out, using that new terminal at the Memphis airport to get on out of here.
Dang, dude.
What?
That's savage.
Are you going to miss Andy?
No.
I'm going to just be honest. Andy didn't bring anything for me. Who was it what recruit was it he was connected to we were supposed to be getting?
Tyler.
No, the big name, Nas or something.
Nas Cunningham?
Yes, Cunningham.
Well, Tyler was his guy. Tyler was his guy.
Well, he had academic, and he's in the portal, isn't he?
Yep. He may have landed.
I didn't realize Nas ended up at Alabama.
Ooh, I'm not a fan of that.
You're not a fan of it?
I don't want Alabama to be good.
Oh, well, I had a problem with that because they're going to be good. Good coach.
Timothy, you're going to miss Andy?
No, it's whatever. Like, it's kind of twofold, right? Because you and I have talked about this before, and Kenny's agreed with us throughout the years. And, you want consistency, right? You want the players, you want returning players, you want returning coaches. It just helps build a better cohesive unit as a team. However, I think there is an argument to be made that sometimes it's okay to let some of these coaches go, right? And I'm not sure that there's given proof of this, but if your options are to choose between Rick Stansbury leaving and going somewhere else, or you clearing house and getting better assistants around him, then get the out everybody else. I
don't think
and that's got to be tough. That's got to be tough, dude, because Penny just surrounds himself with his friends, right? I mean, I think that's a fair statement, more or less, right? I mean, every year we've had someone that he's close with added to the staff in some facet. Some have chose to move on, whatever it may be. I think this is fair, and it's not a bad thing, right? I think it actually shows that Penny's willing to make that extra move to kind of just say, hey, man, you can't be here. Like we got to move on. We got to do something different here because it's just not working out. And if that's to better the team, then perfect.
Yeah. I also, this one feels different. I feel like this one was more of a Penny decision, whereas a lot of the previous ones have been the decision of the assistant to get out. Maybe it was more mutual, but this one seems like it's more Penny making changes rather than somebody going and trying to find a different opportunity. Which kind of comes back to there's been quite a bit of staff turnover. This has been a constant for Penny since day one.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a larger issue, or do you think he's figuring? Obviously, he's been able to retain Rick. Cody Topper was here for a while, but looking back to day one, since his first year, he's had Sam Mitchell leave, Mike Miller, Tony Medlock, Cody, Larry Brown, Rasheed Wallace, Jermaine Johnson, Andy Borman, Frank Haith, which can you count Frank? He took kind of a job, right? So I don't know.
Can't count that.
Counts. But the rest of those, they didn't necessarily leave for better opportunities.
Well,
it's just kind of turnover.
I think you could argue. I think you could argue Topper going to LSU is a better opportunity per se. I mean, that's more money.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go back and look at it, some of them have taken other jobs, like Mike Miller leaving and then going to be a high school basketball coach. Kind of seems like it's a demote, it's stepping down in a way. But he was also coaching his son,
But he was also building more. He's also building his agency, right?
His agency, which is it's much bigger than coaching. If that's what you're going with,
staying in basketball, but changing career paths, if you will.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think there's turnover all over the place, but I think it's a good sign that he was able to retain Rick, and now he's making some, I think, needed adjustments. Because again, I'm not sure what Borman was bringing.
I don't get all up in arms about staff turnover the way that a lot of fans do. I think a lot of fans are I think a lot of folks look at that situation as what's been the issue. And it's well, you've got roster turnover and staff turnover. But honestly, man, in this situation, I think with Penny Hardaway's consistency, the rest of the guys just outside of I'll say this, I think outside of Rick, the rest of these guys just haven't really mattered as much as you would assume assistant coaches would, right? Like, I just don't think it matters that much. I think Penny has seen the value of a Rick Stansbury and what Rick Stansbury brings to the table in terms of not just on floor coaching, but also, you know, behind the scenes in the NIL world and things like that. I think he's just a different kind of guy. He's a different kind of an assistant coach. So I just think I just don't get up in arms about it, especially, and I mean this with all due respect, especially hearing the name Andy Borman. Like, I'm like, okay, you know, like,
I think initially there was a lot of excitement around Andy because of his connection with Coach K, his grassroots connections. There was a lot of hope of, hey, he's going to be able to bring in some elite guys, Nas Cunningham naming Tyler, like, and then that just never really manifested. And from a basketball standpoint, bench coach, like, he doesn't excite.
He didn't move the needle.
He didn't bring any. Yeah. So this is by no means any sort of crushing move, I think, at all. I think we'll be just fine.